Okay, in these extra two examples, there isn't a note-taking template for these, but I did want to demonstrate what happens when we have some of the things that are going to happen in the next assignment. So let's go ahead and take a look at these two peculiarities here. So we're looking at number one here, and we know that the first thing that we want to do is that we want to get the exponential stuff, the e part right here, all by itself. So to do that, we're going to divide by a -3 on both sides. Those are going to go out, and I end up with e to the -2x plus 5 power equals a -3. And then we go ahead and we want to take the natural log of both sides in order to get this guy out in front. So we go natural log of e to the -2x plus 5 power equals the natural log of a -3. So now we can stop right here because we have this guy, which is bad. And so once you have to take the natural log of a negative number, there is going to be no solution. And if you punch it into your calculator, it's going to give you an error here. So we can't go ahead and follow through with the algebra on this. So there's no solution. And what we can learn, again, or show that we can't, take natural log of a negative number. So that's important to go ahead and keep in mind. So no solution for that guy. Now, another thing that we're going to work on is this guy right here, and something that I don't think I had on the note-taking template was this business of, and we were going to discover this in class. So those guys are going to go out. Okay, so I'm trying to get this e stuff all by itself. So I would have, I'm subtracting 10 from both sides, and so I have 7 times e to the 2x power equals 0. And then I'm going to divide each side by a 7, and those are going to go out, and you get e to the 2x equals 0. Now I want to take the natural log of both sides, and we're going to run into the same problem, because we cannot take the natural log of 0. When you put it into your calculator, it is going to give you an error, okay? And so we learn that you can't take the natural log. This is no solution, by the way. And we can't take the natural log of 0. So that's bad as well. Okay, and so in the next slide, I'm going to show you why you can't do a negative number or a 0. So let's take a look. Okay, so from the previous problem here, why doesn't this work? And so what we're doing is that we're doing the definition of, just looking at the definition of the log, and we know that the natural log has a base of e. And we say e raised to the question mark is going to give us a -3. So I go e raised to some power is going to give us a -3. Now, here's the deal, is that there's nothing that you can raise over real numbers a base to that's going to, a positive base that's going to give you a negative outcome. Even if you put a negative number in for the question mark, it's just going to flip it upside down. So say if I even say like, hey, I'll just let it equal a -1, it would give us this. It's just never going to be negative. It could be very, very small, but it will never ever flip the base to negative. And likewise with this, is that if I look at e to the question mark equals 0, there's nothing I can raise e to in order to get a 0 either. And so we end up with no solution, or there's nothing that we can do in this case. It doesn't fit the definition over real numbers, and therefore we have to just back away from it and say we can't do that algebraically, and therefore we stop the problem when we get to these points right here, because there is no way to proceed.